If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Dick, we have the next governor of New Jersey on the line right now.
Jack Ciattarelli.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
Guys, great to be back with you.
Thank
Good.
you.
Boy, it is incredible progress you're making. I gather you just got a huge endorsement in Bergen County.
Sandra was telling
called
us.
and told us about it.
A mayor? What do you got,
Yeah, there's
Jack?
great energy all across the state, guys, and particularly minority communities. The reception has been very, very positive. And also all these endorsements from Democratic mayors, including last week up in Hudson County, North Bergen. It was Mayor Sacco. So I'm honored to have his endorsement.
Beautiful.
Why are all these Democratic mayors endorsing you?
They've had it with Phil Murphy's failed policies, Dick. It's been a failure across the board. Taxes, spending, public safety, public education, housing, overdevelopment in our suburban communities. And so when Democratic mayors are endorsing you, it tells you how much these policies have failed us.
Right.
And they're just afraid that Mikey Sherrill's going to be Murphy 2.0.
Now, there's a looming deadline about federal education aid where Congress in the big, beautiful bill passed a rule saying that people could get a tax credit of $7,500 apiece for money that they pay to voucher schools. That is pro-choice schools, church schools, charter schools, private schools. And you could get $7,500 that the feds would pay for your tuition if you send your kid there. But it's up to each state to decide whether to participate or not. And if the state says they're not participating, the money doesn't go to the state. It just stays with the federal treasury. But if the state says, yeah, we want to participate, you get the money. And the governor is going to say no unless it's you.
Listen, my opponent is owned by the teachers union, which means she's not going to opt into that. I'm an educational choice guy. We need vouchers like we've seen with success in Arizona, Ohio, and Florida. We need charter schools, and we're going to opt into this program when we win this race and give people the tax credit they deserve, particularly considering all the property taxes they pay here in New Jersey. And that's particularly acute when they're not sending their kids to the public school system.
Right.
How my opponent could not opt into that, I don't understand. But then again, she is owned by the teachers union, and they don't want anything to do with school choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, earlier in the show, I commented on a decision that the Supreme Court's made that I really don't agree with, which is they've refused to hear a case of some parents in Colorado whose children in public school were secretly transitioned to be gay, indoctrinated to be gay, and the parents were not told about it, and the school officials were warned that they could not tell the parents about it on pain of being fired. And this came up as a case, and the Supreme Court should have accepted that case, but did not. And I think that's terrible. Gorsuch said, petitioners tell us that 6,000 public schools have policies that purposefully interfere with parents' access to information about their children's gender identity choices. So if you're governor of New Jersey, what are you going to do about this?
Dick, I share your disappointment. Here in New Jersey, that policy is called Policy 5756, where school districts are keeping secrets from parents. It's immoral, it's indecent, it's wrong, I believe it's dangerous. It was never codified by the legislature. That's the good news. When I win, I could reverse it on day one.
Good.
And so no longer will we have Policy 5756. My opponent supports it. We shouldn't be keeping secrets from parents. And something else my opponent supports is biological boys participating in girls' sports. We're not going to have that in New Jersey either.
Good for you,
Right.
Jack. Good.
We're also not going to have outrageous taxes.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Listen, we want an inclusive environment where everyone feels welcome, but more than anything, we also want a fair environment. Right. There's nothing fair about biological boys participating in girls' sports, and there's nothing right about parents being kept in the dark with regard to their parents. Our kids are best served when school districts and parents work in partnership, not in secret.
I said earlier that if they're going to do this, people are going to look to homeschool their kids. If you got to worry about sending your kid to school and
you send Jack to school and Jill will come home.
Yeah, people homeschool their kids.
Doug, what's so interesting about what you're saying is there's 80,000 kids in New Jersey that are homeschooled.
Wow.
For some of the very reasons we're talking about right now. And the Democrats have just introduced a bill that makes it harder for you to homeschool your kid. And if you get the approval, you have to build things into the homeschool curriculum that are the very reasons you left the public school to begin with.
Oh, my God.
I would never sign that bill. And if we can win a majority this year, and we've got an outside shot, we really do, we won't have to worry about that bill. But if it comes to my desk, I'll veto it within seconds.
That's so important, right there.
Yeah, and speaking about the tax credit, those 80,000 homeschooled children could be getting $7,500 each from the federal government.
I mean, when you homeschool, you get
a tax
subsidy.
Credit.
Wow!
But the state is vetoing
tax credit.
that.
Oh.
But the state is vetoing that.
So where would you go with that, Jack?
Participating in the program.
Well, again, guys, we're going to opt in and get people the maximum tax credits that they deserve when you're paying all those property taxes and not paying the public schools.
Right.
But again, this comes down to my opponent being owned by a very powerful special interest. I will tell you that 1 out of 3, if not 1 out of 2 teachers is voting for me this year because they know these policies are wrong. But the point I'm trying to make, and we saw this with the current governor, and you see it with my opponent, once you're owned by these powerful special interests, you're compromised.
That's it.
And once you're compromised, you are not going to be making decisions on behalf of taxpayers.
Yeah,
You're just not.
Al Shanker, the head of the New York Teachers Union, was asked about that, and he said, when kids start to pay union dues, I'll act in the interests of the kids.
Oh, God.
Right. And, guys, I make the point all the time that ever since the Janus decision came down from the federal Supreme Court, teachers do not have to pay the union dues that goes towards political activities. They can save themselves $1,600 a year. I think it's sneaky that the union only lets them out once a year in the summer months. If you're paying union dues every single month, I think you should be allowed to opt out any single month.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to win, Jack.
I think you're
coming on very, very strong. And this is
We're
the
right
time
there,
to do
guys.
it.
And you got the
We're right
unions
there.
in your at your back. You got the unions helping you out. Also?
No, hurting them.
I thought he just
We
said
have a number of unions helping us out.
Yeah,
I've been endorsed by the State Troopers, the Retired State Troopers Association, the New Jersey Retired Police and Firemen Association, the FOP, operating engineers, bricklayers. We've got it all. And it's all because people know we need change here in New Jersey. And what we really need is somebody who's from New Jersey, a hands-on CEO governor. That's exactly what I'll be.
Oh, that's great, Jack.
Well, good luck, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, looking forward to coming back on, guys.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll have you on when you're governor.
Yeah. We'll be
Good.
calling you
Great. Thank
Governor
you.
Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Bye.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
At BeBullish.com.